upload it, and everybody who didn't join can at least any guess the information might be valuable. Who knows? Might not. So let's start by who's in real estate and who's in solar
I'm a real estate.
real estate. So can people in real estate just put names here? Like real estate, first time to join, I wanna know about it. I wanna know more. Whoever's not even in the industry, like trying to join but wanna understand more.
I'll do like home improvement.
Okay. Home improvement. Hmm. Alright.
Yeah.
No, no, no. I said can you tap it down in the you see on the right side beside area just under area no like just for me to understand so Ahmed is on home improvement which is like like energy efficiency programs something like that or more
Yeah,
fencing
like
roofing. Okay. I just left a company that I was the performance and operation manager there. They have been doing the same scenario. Well, I do marketing and I help my own business. Nice, nice. What kind of marketing?
Digital marketing, so like social media management, ads,
Nice.
pretty much everything, SEOs,
Oh, search
and
engine
it's based in
optimization.
Australia as well. Yeah.
Australia. Mm.
Yep.
Well, I didn't let Australian market that much. I've been in Google advertising and search engine optimization process, all that kind of stuff for about 9 years of my
Okay.
life in a row. And then I was also having my own company, which was affiliated to another Google channel premier partner, and I made a partner, which is called Market 360, for about a year. So
Okay.
yeah, did you take any kind of, did you try to take any kind of certificates from Google or from Meta?
Not from Google, but I had certificates for like I have certificates for some courses about marketing administration. But that's all.
Nice, nice, nice. I do love that. You see, this kind of niche, especially. You see, I stated about for me. Okay, my name is Muhammad Zakwaya, right, Muhammad Max. I've been in the online like this industry, especially online advertising, since 2005. We've been started selling like AT&T Yellow Pages on yellowpages.com, then Verizon Super Pages, which is also the online version of the Yellow Pages. Thereafter, about a year only, we've been in Microsoft, which is that was the only local campaign that I worked in, but it was Microsoft, right? Who would say no? Right, and he got me a very good offer. Afterwards, I joined Google Canada for exactly 6 months, but I couldn't continue to be working as because I don't have authorization. Thereafter, they joined another company called WizDig. That's a Google Channel partner or a Google Premier partner at that time. I stayed with them for about 8 years. Then Market 360 for 1 year. Did WizDig again. Then the last one was called after having an accident. I stayed at home and so on. There's a sad story I don't want to tell. Uh, I joined a company called Pro Fusion Home Solutions. Okay, I did join from the very beginning. For me, it wasn't opening, closing. That was my passion. Really, my passion was not just like closing deals. Closing deals obviously is very good for me. I do like it. But usually, even when I was jumping on flags, any getting any kind of appointments to close, I love to open and close, especially to challenge myself to have it as in one quote close. That was the biggest challenge that I did love it, right? So I said to myself, yeah, why not? I'm gonna start from the beginning. You see, my accident had to have me to stay at home. I couldn't, I couldn't actually go to job. It was a motorbike accident, and I lost my limb. So I was staying at home. So I said to myself, why not? I could actually start and this started as a cold caller. Within a couple of months, I was the team manager. Afterwards, I was the pretty much handling all the operations, starting from onboarding and so on. But trainings for in a lot of companies that I've been with, okay, been been a passion, right? And been observing every little scenario that was happening. You see, most most of us do realize and understand that we get paid, let's say, 5% comparing to US and Canadians, right? And about even 30% compared to Latinos. And on the other hand, we even do a better job. From what I saw from really good salespeople, really good closers, really, really, right? They've been they've been really good. I'm gonna exclude myself, but I'm just talking about others now, right? They were really doing a better job than the than Canadians or U.S. While the one who actually told us that in Amicotech was a sales supervisor. His name was Steve, and that was in 2005. He told us exactly from A to Z how can, but he didn't teach us the whole techniques, but he gave us the hook or why should anybody stay with you on the phone to sell it, so you can sell him anything. And number one, you have to have a situation, a problem, a reason for you calling, right? So, for instance, when it comes to cam pages or yellowpages.com or super pages, there was the same reason. You've been calling people that you don't know, and they don't know that they do have like a basic listing. So, your reason for that, or the main reason for you calling right now, is to update their basic listing. So, for instance, so by any chance anybody found them online, at least he's getting the 100% accurate information, which is makes sense, right? If you're a business owner and somebody calling you just to update your basic information, you're not gonna say no. It's Verizon and that's AT&T, your pages, so and it's free, no problem. But once you get them into how you can create curiosity and interest so he could listen more, but this way you can transfer him to one of the managers that will be closing him, right? Same scenario in each and every single niche afterwards, right? I started using the same, not the same pattern, but the same scenario. Sometimes you have to lead to the problem, sometimes you have to lead with the situation, sometimes you have to even to ask more questions, but this way you understand more, then you can figure out the situation, which situation will be the best that you could go through. Like this is the one that you would choose. But in other, let's say, like in home improvements, or let's say, for instance, in solar or any energy efficiency program, there is already a situation that's already happening. Utility rates increases. Okay. For niches at real estate, you've been in the area, you sold the property, you're just wondering if this guy was in the market for selling, like for a cash offer or something like that. Because honestly, I didn't work in real estate. But it's all the same. The only thing is about real estate, which is I hated, was cold calling in real estate is mostly filtering. Like, just to be brutally honest with you guys, for the people cold calling in real estate, well, MP, Kira, yeah, I guess you guys know that already, correct? So, who agrees and who doesn't? Which is which؟ مين ايه ما حدش سمع صوت احد guys.
Well, the thing is, I didn't work in real estate, so I
No, I'm
genuinely
not
don't
talking
know.
about you. I'm talking about others who already worked in real estate. Let's say Miriam. Yeah, Miriam. you're one of the best closers that I know, right? Because I don't know a lot in acquisitions and dispositions, also in real estate. You can tell me, right, Miriam? Do you think that cold calling in real estate is mostly filtering or not?
Uh, can I understand more what do you mean by filtering?
All right. So filtering
For
meaning
sure.
that you guys give them a list, okay, of properties, and they mostly go ahead and dial, and then they find someone who's already, let's say, got an intent to sell or not. But it's basically, I know sometimes, like,
Okay.
let's say about 50% of the time, it's basically been, let's say, based on the person himself, why you should listen to that one, not just listen to another, right? But it's mostly filtering. Am I correct? Because if
Yeah,
somebody,
so for real estate, if we're talking about the cold caller's job in real estate is mainly to do two things. Get you the distressed, motivated seller, and the second thing is filtering الشيت ذات نفسها ما بين voicemails to wrong numbers to Spanish speakers to not interested to DNC. ليه؟ علشان voicemails مثلا we can take this list and put it in an SMS campaign. These people most likely are not going to answer a phone.
hmm
Same goes for the not, no answer. For the Spanish speaker, we can put them for, the Spanish team that can actually get information out of them. For the DNC, of course, we cannot call DNCs.
100%.
Uh, and yeah, that's where we call callers' job is to filter the list, and at the same time to be able to pull the motivated ones out of the listing.
Exactly, exactly. See, and that's why I mentioned in cold calling in real estate, you're not mostly like you don't have that kind of skills, or you don't need to have that kind of skills for persuasion or raising concern or anything like that. But you need to have at least the basics, which is tonality, that you can change your tonality when you're asking a question. When somebody, let's say for instance, he told you that he's in the market, he want to sell his home, for instance. He's a motivated seller, he want to sell his home. So you have, I guess you guys have like a couple questions that you need to ask, like, right, well, I see this is like a good property, you've been in it for 20 years now, or it's if it's rented, well, so you're making good money out of it. Why you're why are you thinking of selling it right now? Right? Now you're taking away. It's actually a technique, right? Which is you're taking away from him. You right now he's selling himself, right? You are motivating him more. He's giving you more reasons why he want to sell his property, right? Same scenario goes for solar, and that's sometimes even we use it in objections, right? Let's say somebody tells you like, yeah, I'm not interested. Yeah, solar. No, 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 I'm not interested. Then you can say, yeah, no problem. You see, solar is a very good program, but it's not usually a good fit for everybody. You're absolutely right. You need to have like, and you start giving him something like, usable hours of sunlight, this and that. Once you start doing this, and I don't think you don't even have that. Then he starts saying, no, actually, I did have like 4 or 5 people came to my house trying to tell me this, trying to tell me that. See, you take, you give and take, you push and pull, right? Because right now the pattern is for everybody is pushing. So let's start by the pattern itself, right? What kind of pattern that when a homeowner hears from the very beginning, he give you the objection of not interested and hang up right away. Okay. So let's hear by Kira, your real estate. Are you like a cold caller or an acquisition?
Yeah, cold caller for
Oh,
about 3 months. I've not been much in the industry.
all right, no problem. So what's the intro that you guys have in your script?
The intro, yeah, we just be like, hello, is this whatever? Yeah, I'm calling about your property in 123 Main Street, whatever. Then yeah, I don't know. It's pretty stiff.
No,
There's
no,
nothing to say. Like
it's not
I
about.
don't
It's not,
think cold calling is something that you're gonna use some sales expertise in. Like if like you're not gonna convince someone to sell you their house on the phone if they do not already have the intent.
well,
Yeah.
there's something that sometimes when we add, and I know that this is if I'm in that kind of industry, I would add some stuff, but I'm actually willing right now. I'm studying that because I want to add some stuff on the cold calling. But this way, they yes, they will
Mm.
create the intent. Not, that's not a problem, right? But you need just to create a situation so you can do that. But yes, you're absolutely right. But let me ask you this: do you think the homeowner himself, even if he's motivated, right, to sell, how many times did he hear that same scenario, the same intro that you just said? How many times
How many times did I what?
did they hear that from you, from other cold callers? How many times? Same pattern.
Yeah, they always complain. They always complain like, this much people is calling me and like you're scammers. A lot of people call me about the property and then they don't call me back or whatever.
Oh, if somebody told you about this, but that's a motivated seller, by the way. That's not objection. That guy is really good, right? You could turn him in. But I'm talking about,
Yeah.
let's say, sometimes or most of the times, you call somebody, tell you, you know, guy, you've been calling me, guys, for like 20 times. What's going on? You see, you're not the one who called him 20 times, right? But he
Yeah.
received 20 calls or 30 calls or perhaps even some 10, 15 calls with the same pattern. My name is
Huh.
this, and I'm calling about your property. 123. Hi, this is Max from XYZ company, and the reason of my call is that we've been doing this, and so on. You see, this is a pattern. Now, they all know that kind of pattern, right? So, what we need to
Mm.
do is something called pattern interrupt. Do you guys all agree with me in that, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Simon is typing something. Okay. اوكي جايز. انا بحب الانتراكشن، يعني لما عارف انت لما اسالكوا عادي ممكن كل واحد فاهم واحد واحد just start answering. You don't need to write it, right? Okay, so pattern interrupt, mostly right now, or what most people know about pattern interrupt is that, yes, hey, it's Max. Yeah, I know I'm cold calling you, but can you just give me like 26 seconds out of your time just to let you know why I'm calling? Perhaps this is called a pattern interrupt, right? Okay, if people want to really improve or wanted to improve before, they saw that YouTube videos, like a couple years back. Even homeowners now know. See, pattern interrupt became a pattern, right? Even the pattern interrupt, because they see what they used to say at that time, that the number of 27 seconds itself, why not 30, why not 29, why not 30? It just gives some sort of curiosity, sparks curiosity, interest to listen. Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna give him like exactly 27 seconds, not more, not less, right? To see what this guy. How many times it worked? I tell you, 1 out of 10 from the people that will willing to listen if he did something else. So we need another pattern interrupt. So we need to interrupt the pattern interrupt, which is you call first, you start by creating confusion and curiosity at the very beginning. So let's say in home improvements, what's your intro, Ahmed? Hello, hello, Ahmed. Hello. All right. So anybody tell me what do you think, or how does he try to do a pattern interrupt or change his introduction? Guys, can you hear me?
Well, I'm thinking about
Yes.
something.
Okay.
I can give it a try if not.
Okay, let's talk about Ahmed. Ahmed, tell me what's your introduction. Yeah, tell me what's
Alright.
your introduction.
Uh, It's like, hello, this is Mike. I'm calling from XYZ company, and we have been working in the area, so that's I was kind of curious if you got any kind of phone call to get you want to get that before you tell me.
Okay.
That's it.
Right. No problem. Right. That's the same intro for most of the for most even home improvements and energy efficiency and solar. Right. Most of them they get the same introduction. Right. So for that intro, guys, how do you think we can change that pattern? I want to hear your thoughts. Let's start by Motaz.
Well, the thing is, I'm still working on it right now, but I was thinking about asking him. Um, I was thinking about making a confusion by telling him that he inquired us, and he didn't. But he will say I didn't, and I say no, believe me, you did, and that's why I'm calling you today. And um, going from there, I tell him
No problem.
about, let's say, renovations in his house.
Yeah, no problem. Well, you see, you're good. It's kind of good, right? But it's kind of not pushy, but sometimes it can backfire. If you said that you called us or applied or you did anything like that, he's gonna think a lot of, he's gonna have a lot of things in his mind. You need to put yourself in the homeowner's shoe, right? If somebody's calling you and he told you like you applied to have some innovations with us, oh, right now you're selling me, trying to sell me something on the spot. So obviously I'm not gonna go with you, but it is some sort of, right? So what if we, but for instance, if we said, like, it's calling somebody named, let's say, let's call him Adam, right? Hey, Adam, yes, you need to start by having it as a question, as like, hey, Adam, so he can start answering because you need to buy time. In any kind of cold call, you need to start buying time. Yes, hey, it's Adam. Who is this? Now you both about 10 to 15 seconds so you can start saying who you are, right? Hey, it's Max. I've been trying to reach you since last week, man. Hey, uh, he's gonna he's gonna start like once you say this in his mind. Whoa, who's Max trying to reach me for? You give him the, and you need to pause for just a second or 2 seconds. The reason why you're pausing, right, is because just to give his mind some sort of to process exactly the first thing that you said. Then it's because we've been doing this in your area, and I just wanted to check first, and then you take him to another way. I just wanted to check. Have you got a chance, like, to talk to any of the, senior advisors, whatever you guys go ahead with that, or the ones that you will transfer, or the ones that you will send the appointment to, either in person or over the phone. That's called a two-part question, because when you start thinking about the first, he's gonna get the second one, and it's gonna create confusion. Then he's gonna ask, what are you talking about? Once we got him to say this, all right, now we got another 45 seconds or 50 seconds to get your elevator pitch. You need to start by having some sort of confusion. Sometimes you need, yeah, perhaps maybe you can help me and use the curious tone, or you say like confusion and curiosity at the same time. Do you know, guys, like how even those kind of tones, or how do you change your tonality, or why it's been changed spontaneously? You see, most of the people that I met, or cold callers, agents, even closers that I met, they said, you know what, tonality is not like, when I speak naturally, it goes very good. And he's absolutely right. Do you all agree on that? Okay. All right. So, what's the first thing that you should ask yourself? Why you are calling? Why are you calling that guy? And also, what's your personality? You see, in each call or in each industry, you must have another personality that you're adopting. So you're acting right now, but over the phone. But you're acting with your tone, okay? He only hears your voice, so that means your tonality and your vocal autonomy, which is your posers, faces, so on and so forth. Also, what you say. So what you say matters, but how you say it matters more. Because how you say it is your tonality, which transfers the emotions, how he could be able to trust you or not, based on your intention or the goal that you're calling to. See, if you're cold calling and your goal is booking, right? You're just gonna be going through the script, having a good tonality, having a bad tonality. He's gonna know it. Even if he went with you till the end of the script and he got booked, he's not booked for a call or appointment. He's not gonna show up. The reason why, because intentions, you guys even feel it. If I'm right now with you here, okay, just cause one thing, not to help you, not to do this, just because one thing, I wanna, let's say, make money out of you, right? Would you guys feel it or not? Hmm?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so pretty much it's the intention, right? The intention is what drives the conversation. Your intention itself is how makes the conversation goes good or bad, right? If your intention is to call and to see, right, if this guy got a problem or not, and then you need to have some sort of changing of intentions during the call. This is how very good salespeople do. They start by the intention of helping. They're being really concerned. Now, when they're so concerned, that creates trust. So the other prospects start trusting you. And once that happens, which is building rapport, right? Once that happens and he start opening up, complaining about things that you want him to complain, then your intention is to raise concern, right? By being confused about what he's getting. What's the ROI if he's like, if you guys like selling businesses, B2B, or if you're selling like solar, or if you're even in the real estate, which is that's why you're asking like, well, I want to know why you're being confused, why you're like, why you want to sell your home while it's getting you this XYZ. It can pretty much get you more. I see that you've been here since like 20 years now, and it's a very good neighborhood. Why were you thinking of selling it? Well, you're the one called him from the very beginning that you know what you're asking him if he got an intention to sell it or not. But still, so tonality and how to change your tonality, right? It's for you first to start convincing yourself with your personality that you're adopting. And while you're convincing yourself with that personality, right, you need to put yourself right now in the other's shoe. Homeowner, prospect, business owner. You need to put yourself in his shoe while you're, putting your script together. Because based on that script, you're not going to be reading it word by word, but that's the structure that you'll be using. Okay? So you need to ask yourself, when I say this, what he will feel and what might he say, right? So you start, this is called anticipating even objections. Sometimes you even want him to give you an objection. You want him to say this word. You see, most of the times objections are not real objections, right? Especially not interested or busy. Because if somebody told you like, yo, you know what, I'm busy, I'm in a meeting right now. If he's in a meeting, he's not gonna answer his phone. But when he did answer the phone and he saw somebody like either hesitant or using the same pattern or a monotone, anything like that, he's he's just in his mind within the first 10 seconds he said, you know what, it doesn't worth my time. Then I'm busy. All right. Any Does that make sense? Any comments? Anybody wants to add anything? Hey, what's going on? Total silence. Can you guys hear me?
So nice.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think about that so far? Can you guys apply that?
Okay, يعني السؤال كان إيه؟
I'm sorry. الصوت بتاعك okay, somebody besides Ahmed. And Ahmed كل ما بيتكلم بحس مش عارف الساوند تعبان. What's the question again? No, I'm saying that can you apply this on your call? Can you use it? Okay. What about the rest? Mu'taz?
Well, the thing is, for me, my pitch is always like most probably the same since it's a cold call. If it's not closing, uh, and like my first the very first 10 seconds in the call, I take the lead and tell him that it is a cold call. So I'm basically saying, "Hey man, listen, my name is Mo, and this is actually a cold call. So you can hang up now, and you will never hear from me again." Or you can give me a minute to introduce myself and tell you why I'm calling. And
That's called a pattern
90% of the
interrupt.
time,
They give
that's
you
the pattern interrupt.
yeah,
But
but
I take
they
it
give you
like
a time.
they give me time, but the thing is, I take it with a tonality of funny. So basically, I laugh with him first. If I make him laugh, he's comfortable, and when he's comfortable, I never begin with my pitch or like with what I'm selling him before I get him comfortable to be speaking with me. So
Okay.
if this one doesn't work and he says, "Okay, you have a minute," but he doesn't laugh or like he's not comfortable enough to speak with me yet,
Mhm.
I try something else. I try to do something else first to make him comfortable, so he can speak with me. Um, so I can at least build like trust in the very first 30 seconds in the call. So
Okay.
that's what I'm doing.
That's pretty much very good. But the and on an average, your conversion from the people that gave you time and you pitched them.
Let's say 7 out of 10. Like if I get 10 clients, I'm close. I'm getting like appointments to seven that will show up.
Are you setting appointments or you're closing on the phone?
For me, I do both sometimes. So the thing is, since I'm the owner of the business, I tell them like we can have like a meeting to discuss everything further because it won't like I can't cover everything while we are in this call.
Okay.
And what they do is like what I'm doing is I tell them that we are gonna have like this appointment in that time, that date, and that I'm gonna be following up with them every day to make sure um, that they are attending to it. And
Okay.
also I tell them that if they are not gonna attend, just let me know and we can reschedule it or anything.
Very,
And I say it as a favor as well, like just make me a favor and reschedule. Tell me that you're not attending, so I can make sure that we reschedule.
what kind of tone are you
That's what
using?
I say.
What kind of tone are you using while you
Uh,
booking?
why I'm booking, like in like when I tell them that so let's say I already finished and gave me
Let's
the
say
time.
you pitch me. I gave you the I gave you the minute, and you pitch me. After you do that,
Mhm.
right? You told me the reason of your call. You gave me your elevator pitch afterwards.
Yeah, well, what I say is, okay,
No,
so listen,
consider
right
this.
now I can't
Yes.
actually.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
Consider this a recall. Go ahead.
Okay. So listen, man, what I'm doing right now is, I can't actually complete everything on call right now. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna be booking, like not booking, actually, I'd say I'm gonna be making a meeting for us together to discuss everything together and to tell you more about what I do. Um, it will be like 20 minutes or something. So just if you have like 20 minutes free of your time, maybe tomorrow, after tomorrow, we can have this meeting, discuss it, and um, that's what I say actually.
Okay. All right.
Just
Well,
give it
you
a
see,
silent, a death silent.
let me let me give you some insights, which is you what you really is really good. Okay, but I know that
Hmm.
you guys don't know me. Okay, I really hate compliments, and I really hate something called the sandwich, right, technique, which is when you say somebody that you're doing good, and afterwards you want to give him what kind of negative feedback, then you tell him again that he's good, right? It's called the sandwich technique.
Hmm.
The reason why I believe that kind of sandwich technique doesn't work, right, is because most of the time when you give somebody something that you tell him he's good, right, about that's about 30%, right? Then you again tell him about
Hmm.
another 30% is not that kind of good in it. Then another
Hmm.
30% that he's good. Most of the time, they ignore the 30% that he's good. They say, with time, most cold callers, and this is what I knew throughout the whole years that I've been doing trainings and training agents, managing, and so on. I found out that being direct is the best. See, usually the best or the let's say the smallest and the quickest way between 2 points is a straight line. So let me give it to you out straight. You are doing good, and I'm not complimenting, right? In a sense,
Hmm.
but you choosing the choosing of your words, right? Really, if you did that in the U.S., hopefully you're doing it in Australia. Hopefully you're doing a good job, but most likely it's not gonna work, right? It
Hmm.
will work. They give you some time, but while booking, you don't need to choose that kind of words whatsoever. You need to change your
Yeah.
words, which is this is called power of the words itself, right? And instead of I'm gonna do this, why wouldn't we? You need to have the we inside, right? Explore this kind of
Hmm.
option and see what kind of benefits we will get out of it. You see, that's why I mentioned from the very beginning that your each buddy, each and every single one of you guys, when he's on a cold call or selling or closing, he got a personality. You need to understand your personality and need to understand how your personality work. So, for instance, in his role, he's an advisor, right, a consultant. So, a consultant should be on having a higher status, correct? Just like the doctor. If you're at the doctor, right, and the doctor is telling you like he gave you something, he wants you to have like CT scan, anything like that, you're not gonna say no. You're not gonna say, let me think about it. Right? You're not gonna attend. You will attend. But why you will do that? Because subconsciously, you are putting him in a higher status, and subconsciously, when they know that this is a sales call, subconsciously they put you on a lower status. But when you position yourself as a consultant, that's another scenario, and that's literally for you and for people in home improvements, right? Comes in real estate. Well, what I can tell you guys that you need to be at the very beginning of your call. You don't need to have like this. You need to assume that this is gonna happen before it happens, right? So you're calling someone because you guys, I know that you go through a lot and a lot of bad lists. A lot of them are not interested, a lot of them not available, a lot of them give you a hard time on the phone. But when you get somebody who's gonna be really listening, you need to grab that. That's called well, I used to have it like called the gumball analogy, which is if you were standing on a gumball machine and you're putting in, let's say, the red gumballs are the people not interested or not available, so on and so forth, and the blue ones are the people who are willing to listen. Golden ones that are already like as if they say, we're waiting for that. We want to do one, two, three, four, five. Okay, so this is when you need to have a mindset of not frustrating. Each rejection gets you closer to a no, gets you closer to yes. So each no, I'm sorry, gets you closer to yes. And at the end of the day, what we could say about your role in it, just like Miriam said, and I believe Miriam, she's disposition or acquisition, but she's also giving some trainings on real estate, and she's covering mostly acquisitions. But you need to be more curious and more into your role. You see, you are calling behalf of an investor, someone who really got money. So you need to have some sort of curiosity, authority at the same time. Like we've been here in the neighborhood, and me and my wife, me and my this, or me and my lawyer, we saw your property, and we've been wondering, and then you need to pause for at least a second or two, because believe me, if you're just keep going on, you're not just scripting, you don't even process half of what you say. You just get the last 30% of what you said. Okay. Well, yeah, I discourage people real estate, but I'm really sorry about that. I'm being honest. Okay. Now, that's why. That's why one thing. Okay. Let me just go over one thing. Okay, because now we should go over, the last thing, which is that can also go ahead, which is active listening and objection handling. I guess all of you faces objections, right? None of you doesn't. But the difference between someone and another one is the way that he looks at the objection. Some people look at the objection as, you know, oh shit, once you hear the objection. And some people want to even overcome the objection before saying it, right? And others look at the objection as some sort of opportunity, correct? Who does that? Who sees the objection as an opportunity? All right. So Mata's being honest, not me. Everybody else see the objection as an opportunity. Oh, that's really nice. Ahmed, Ahmed, Mahmoud. I see Ahmed is the only one attentive here. Mahmoud,
Yeah, most of the times it's an opportunity to, like generate leads in real estate.
objections. Most of the time generate
Yep.
leads. How is that?
For example, once a call like homeowner asks if he would like to sell the property, he might say, "Not right now." So I start asking questions like, "Would he be ready to sell like within the next 6 months?" In case you got what you're looking for. This way, I can, uh, grab his attention. If he got like an offer, a reasonable offer, he might be like able to sell during this period or not,
Hmm. But no, right now that's not
because he
objection.
already
That's
has.
that's a buying sign. That's a buying signal. That's not objection. An objection is like, you know what? Don't call me again. I'm busy, right? I'm busy right now. I'm busy for that shit. Any kind of stuff like that, like that. Not interested, right? Those are objections. The other ones is really like what you just mentioned right now is actually a buying signal. That yes, he's willing to sell, but not right now. Which is that's a good signal, right? I mean, when you get an objection, let's say for instance somebody called tell you like, you guys call me like 30 times. Stop calling me. What do you do?
Just hang up.
Yeah. I like it. You see, Mahmoud, really, I like your honesty, right? Who else does that? Huh? Who? Nothing? All right. You see, most objections are not real objections. The reason why he gave you that kind of objection from the beginning is sometimes he might be even in the market of selling his property, right? But he's with a real estate. He might be in the market that he want to sell, but from the way that you pitched, it didn't make sense for him. So you need to handle his objection first. What first that you need to do is you need to listen carefully to the tone while he's giving you that kind of objection. He's shouting so fast, hang up. Okay, there's no even time for you to handle anything, right? But if he said it and gave you time, that means he's not he's not really interested. He's actually interested, but he's willing to listen. Why else will he be on the phone, right? So first thing first, that you need to acknowledge that. Sometimes even agree with him. Like when people are shouting, not interested, not, you need to acknowledge, yeah, no problem. Then agree. Agree with like what? You know what? I might feel the same way. Anything like that, right? Afterwards, you start responding. Then move on with the question. So that's the formula that you guys need to use in any objections that you will face. You need to listen carefully, acknowledge, and don't say, especially, I totally understand, right? Or I
You
understand.
break up?
I totally get it, right? Because frankly speaking, right, if you totally get it or you totally understand, right, why you are continuing the conversation? Like if I told you something like, "Don't call me again," and you said, "Yeah, yeah, I totally understand," so you totally understand. So why are you still on the phone, right? So that's the new kind of acknowledgement here is, yeah, no problem, or no, yeah, no worries, no worries. That means you just validated his concern. Okay, that you said okay. Now you're calming him down. You see, when somebody's giving you any kind of objections, as if, do you know boxing? Anybody watch boxing? Or his guard is on. Okay, so his hands are up. If when we want to punch, it's gonna get in his hand. It's not gonna affect him. So acknowledgement gets him, disarm him a little bit. Then responding, you get him to listen, engage back, move on by a question, gets him engaging back in the conversation. Because the goal here is for you to get him just engaging back in the conversation, not to prove a point. Because if your goal in handling objection is proving a point, that means that you might win this, but he's gonna hang up also because his ego is not gonna let him, make him continue the call. That means that you know better than him. I used to fall in that when I was selling Google Ads. When someone give me an objection, and I tell them, yeah, I know, and I handle his objection, and I know that I'm right 100%, and I know that he's doing something wrong. For instance, in his Google ad, his bidding process, anything like that. Even his quality score, whatever the case is. But I aim to show him that I know more than him, or I'm better than him, and people hate that. So you is not gonna let you. You win this, but you're not gonna close. Same scenario for cold calls. So your goal at that time is to just get him engaged back in the conversation. All right. That's pretty much like what we would be doing or what we can handle. So let's start by having a small. How about if we have a small exercise about that, right? First off, I just want to ask you one thing. When somebody's giving you an objection, right? When you start acknowledging, even if you know the rebuttal on it, like I believe in any industry, real estate, whatever, home improvements, marketing, online advertising, they give you rebuttals. Sometimes you even memorize that rebuttal and you know it by heart. When do you start acknowledging or responding on the spot? Eh, total silence. Khalid, oh, Fadi, I'm sorry. Fadi. Okay. Mahmoud. The second he finished the objection. No, you need to give it. You need to give it more. A second more, because in your mind that you think that if he waited one more second, he's gonna finish. He's gonna hang up, right? So that's the that's the fault that we all, went through. Because if he's gonna hang up, he's gonna hang up. He might even hang up while you are handling the objection, while you're acknowledging. So you need just to wait a second, just 1 second, or sometimes just a second or less a little bit. Then moving on, and so on. Knowledge, respond, move on. Then you move on with a question that's related to what you said. Shift. Oh yeah, today's Saturday. Okay. All right. So for people that got shifts, all right, they can leave. I'll upload that on the page, right? You guys can check on it. And the people who are gonna stay, now we're gonna talk about how really can transfer your. Yeah, it's gonna be uploaded on my page exactly. How you can transfer your emotions, or meaning, in other words, how you can make the other guy trust you. Okay. You see, usually they used to have like a theory that 90%, 93% of your of your decisions are made of emotions, and which is the subconscious, and the rest is just by being thinking. Okay, but it's actually not. It's actually 70% to 75% that of your decisions that go through and continue. That means you're not gonna go back on that decision. Okay, they are based on emotions. But how can you transfer your emotions throughout the phone? Obviously, it's with tone, right? With the way that you speak it, the way that you say the words. But this is really comes to really, really, really your intention into the call, while you have to be inside the conversation. Just really in. You have to be really, really, really concerned. Like when you tell somebody, you know, I really want to do this, but I want to just make sure that if I'm not mistaken, it's about using the right words with the tone and the pauses. If you feel it and you are convinced that at that state, at that time, when you're on the phone saying that you are really concerned, believe me, he's going to be concerned. If your intention, right, is to show him without saying that you really care, okay, your tone is going to come naturally like that. If your intention is to create confusion or to show him that you are confused, you need to convince yourself with that. That's really how most sales or telesales people, when they are closing deals, they start doing that. But by choosing the right words. And one small tip, don't use let me be honest. Well, we need to try to do that. Because let me be honest, that means that it shows on subconsciously that you weren't honest at the beginning. Now you are being honest, or totally honestly speaking, anything like that. You can just say, frankly speaking, and that's the words itself of the choosing of the right words that can get you to a book or a close, or even to set an appointment. But it really all gets back to one thing, which is your personality that you're adopting at that time. The best of the best salespeople are the best actors, the best of the best. All right. So pretty much now we're done. Okay. If you guys got any questions, please feel free to put it here or put it in the comment section on what's that. Do you have any questions, Mahmoud? Aya?
Thanks for your time.
No problem. By the way, we didn't do anything. I
Thank
just
you.
went back. That was the basics. Because
Was so helpful.
we didn't guys go yesterday. Like the last session, we covered, let's say, like 60% of that. But next time we're gonna go really dive deep into it and how to pause and the power of silence and how you can really be a very good professional cold caller. But what I'm gonna do next time, because really this, I want to make sure that it works really perfect. So next time I'm gonna have real estate, the ones that in real estate only, the ones that in home improvements and in online advertising, marketing, anything like that, by themselves, and also energy efficiency, solar. Because cold callers in real estate, they need something. Okay, they might need other skills as well, right? They can join obviously, but I'm gonna make it private for them, right?
Okay, it's good.
Okay.
Right.
I
Hopefully,
need to learn more about the real estate called Colin because I don't have much experience about it.
you see, really,
So I'll what?
what I meant is this is what I wanted to do because I don't want to create confusion. But cold calling is
I
cold calling.
worked only for 3 months in
No
PBS.
problem. PBS.
What?
You said PBS.
Yes, so I don't know a lot of things about cold calling in real estate, but I'm eager to learn.
No problem. No problem. You see, cold calling is cold calling, right? If you can cold call, you will cold call anything.
Yes.
You could cold call real estate. You could cold call anything else. But other things needs more skills than like cold calling in general in just real estate. But in real estate as well, if you want to get promoted, right, you need to have more
Yes.
skills than that. So for people that joined, like, well, this is what I'm gonna add. I'm gonna add the people that joined, and people that have more skills in order to get promoted. Like for you, I can't give you the whole thing because I don't want to have you something called like paralysis by analysis. Like when I explain more than what you need, it's not gonna be helpful for you, right? Or for any other cold caller who's just started like 3, 4, 6 months, right, or even a year. It might be helpful for one, but the rest is gonna have this kind of information, and then it's gonna be hard for him to apply, right? Because that's what I usually do. Like even when I train
Okay.
people at when I when I managed when I was in any company that I was working with, right, and I was like training my team, I usually have the onboarding. They have training, and then that's for the first 2 3 days. Then I start going step by step, because those kind of small steps really gets the difference within a month. They start being sharks and not just getting like 5 6 leads, but they get 10 12 leads. Right? That's the whole
Yes.
aim, and that's just the game. All right? Do
Right,
you?
Max, but I need to tell you something. Like in real estate, I haven't ever, like witnessed a team leader or a quality said to me like once you have like a homeowner, like say, don't call me. I got a lot of these calls. I don't need ever you guys to call me back and so on. We don't, overcome the objection. We just put do not call this person. So
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
know, I know.
real estate is more of filtering than like generating like leads or
Yeah, I know.
like convincing people to like uh, sell the properties as
You,
you do like in appointment setting or other
you know
sales
what?
roles or something.
You know what?
Hmm.
Like a couple years back, solar was the same. Solar was pretty much the same, right? But solar is a service, right, or something or product that you sell. But sometimes it's gonna be very hard for you to convince someone, right, that he told you like I'm not interested in selling my home. You will be convincing him to sell his home, right? It's really hard. It's not impossible, but it's really hard, right? So that's why you guys out there, right? You see what happens in real estate that you guys are filtering, getting the motivated sellers just to send them over to acquisitions, and then acquisitions do the job, and gets the deal closed. That's pretty much it. But you can add some stuff, but only for the ones. Let's say if it's just like one who said, like, you know what, uh, I got a lot of calls. Don't call me right now. See, don't call me right now. That means that he's into. I get a lot of these calls, and I'm not into making right a decision right now. Anything like this. Now you can handle him, but in another way. Don't put him in 6 months. 6 months? Are you gonna be still in the company after 6 months? Do you think so? If you, well, nobody knows, but you're gonna be. Do you think you're still remember that guy, or he'll remember you after 6 months? So what you do is you actually putting it on a display like this because somebody else will call him after 6 months, not you, right? Or they can put him on an SMS campaign, or they can put him in something like that. That's what that's what really what's happening. So pretty much, yeah, you are filtering.
Yeah.
Okay. So cold calling, what I used to say is when real estate is just for you to break the fear of having a conversation with somebody else on the phone. And if you guys can break the fear and have a good conversation, okay, you can consider cold calling in real estate as learning and earning, right? So you learn, you earn, then you learn more, then you need to earn more, right? So it's either real
Yep.
estate, or if you want to improve more your skills and get more and more skills, okay, then you need to either get promoted or just buzz and get into the industry. If you're really into the sales and that kind of industry, which is you can actually make a lot of money out of it. Well, depending on how much, like the information that also how you can apply it on the phone, right? Okay, well, it's been really a pleasure having all of you.
Yes.
If you guys need anything else, just let me know. You guys got my number. It's on the page, and then, right, I'll be more than happy to help out. Okay, Aya?
Yeah, thank you so much.
No
Appreciate it.
problem. No worries.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, guys. You have yourself a wonderful day.
Take care.
Thank you.
Sure. Bye bye.